Hey there, hey there. This is Dr. Pam Perry, and welcome to another Speakers Magazine show. And we have revealing today Speakers Magazine show about Susan L. Taylor. If you don't know who she is, where you been? So we're going to bring up the person who is over Cares Mentoring, Renee Daniel Flagler, and she's going to talk a little bit about what is going on March 2nd in New York City with Susan L. Taylor. But right after this, who is Speakers Magazine? What is it about? So this will tell you a little bit.
Are you ready to elevate your speaking career and be a part of a movement that amplifies Black voices? Speakers Magazine is your go-to resource highlighting top speakers, industry insights, and strategies to take your platform to the next level. Subscribe today and unlock the blueprint for speaker success. Visit www.speakersmagazine.com, the #1 magazine for Black speakers. Subscribe now and start your journey to success. Amplify your voice. Subscribe today.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Renee Daniel Flagler. I think I messed the name up. So I messed up. Did I say the F before D or the D? So anyway,
You
it's
got
three
it
names.
right.
I did. So Renee Daniel, and she has been with Cares Mentoring, and I'll tell you a little bit about what Cares is, for almost a year. And she is here representing Susan L. Taylor, which is the editor-in-chief Amelia of Essence Magazine. And this is her 80th birthday this year. 80 and the 20th for Cares Mentoring, National Cares Mentoring. So a lot of people know about Essence Magazine, but tell them about the 20 years of the vision of how it started and where it is now, and just really your background too in terms of how you came to work with Susan L. Taylor.
Absolutely. So first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I appreciate you bringing me on to talk about this amazing moment in the life of both Susan and Cares. So I will tell you how it got started. And we all know that Susan was the visionary, right, behind the Essence Music Festival. And so in 2005, after Katrina, she had a heart for the location. And they realized, how exemplified poverty had become after the situation with the hurricane and all the issues that came up. And Susan she's just made of love. Like every fiber of her being is all about love.
Mm-hmm.
And when she saw the devastation and the things that our young people were going through and the things that the community was going through, they wanted to do something about it. They wanted to respond to that. And so Essence actually started Essence Cares, right, under the direction of Susan L. Taylor. And they started to focus on the young people and the trauma that was caused by living in poverty. And so Essence Cares became that effort, that initiative to be able to support communities and support young people who were living with the traumas that are caused by poverty. And we know like poverty can literally shorten the lives of people because of the traumas that's associated with it. And so they started this work, bringing mentors together, finding, recruiting, training, and deploying mentors into communities that needed it the most, into areas where there were very vulnerable children who sometimes didn't have adult support, or the adult supports that they had was really in dire need of themselves of support. And so the effort started with recruiting mentors and bringing them out across the country, and it spread. And then in 2006, Susan left Cares and Susan left Essence and started running Cares full time. Mm-hmm. And so now we're celebrating 20 years of Susan really just doing her heart's work, starting with recruiting, deploying mentors into communities with young people to change the lives of young people, to change the trajectories of young people, to help heal them, because a lot of that trauma creates just so much mental and emotional instability. So healing became essential in what we were trying to do with Cares. And so now we're 20 years later, we are still finding, recruiting, deploying mentors in communities that need it the most to do the work that we're doing, to actually work in tandem with other nonprofit organizations and community-based organizations to bring them mentors as well, qualified mentors. And we also do programs now that we weren't doing then, but these programs are healing-centered, trauma-informed, making sure that our young people have the tools that they need to succeed. We have the Rising program, we do wellness mentoring circles. So it is really a holistic approach to making sure that there's mentorship, that there's programs that provide them the healing that they need, a safe place, wellness mentoring circles, and giving them the skills that they need to succeed in life and career.
This is amazing. So when she started this, she was basically could have like said, okay, Essence, I'm going to retire. I'm gonna go sit down. I'm 60 years old.
Absolutely.
But she was just getting started. Okay.
Getting started.
Getting started. And she's still involved because
Yes.
not only is the gala on March 2nd something that she is helping, just going to show up at. From what I understand, she's still involved in it.
Oh, she's actively involved.
Absolutely
Yes.
involved
Yes.
in it. So this year she has a couple of guests. This is the thing that CARES Mentoring. So if you go to caresmentoring.org, you'll see all about it. But she had some special guests there. So tell us about it, because you were there virtually last year. And so tell us about what they can expect this year, besides all of the other chapters as well, because Detroit has a chapter.
Yes.
Well. And so tell us what is kind of like the guest host, I guess you would say, the guest host and the chair.
You got it. So our guest host is the fabulous Emmy-winning journalist, Tamron Hall. So we're so excited about having Tamron Hall. I think she does a phenomenal job. She is, to me, a class act. So we are really excited. This is not the first time that's right. This will not be the first time that she has emceed the CARES Gala. She has done it for us in the past. And at this special moment where we are celebrating 80-20, 80 years of Susan, 20 years of CARES, and Susan's 55-year legacy of just pouring into the community, pouring love and support and creating a strong sense of community. So having her as a host is just really just divine for us. The entire staff was really excited about that. And our host, our chair for the gala this year is Reggie Van Lee, who is a phenomenal patron of the arts. He is, look him up. There's so much to say about the amazing Reginald Van Lee. And right now we have Lettucey performing, and you can expect that in that house that evening, Black royalty, Black excellence, like all the folks, because she has touched so many. She has touched and impacted so many lives. So expect an amazing room full of beautiful energy and people from every sector, from entertainment to film to all the business sectors. It's going to be a packed house that night.
That is really good. And that's it's actually at the Ziegfeld Ballroom in New York City, March 2nd. That is a Monday, and it starts in the evening. It's a gala. And one of the things too is that they can still go. You're more than half sold out. More than half sold out. So caresmentoring.org, you can go there and actually get tickets and show up. And I will be there. Speakers Magazine will be on the scene. We'll be interviewing people, talking to all of the people who are involved. And really, the theme of it is always the same. It's for the love of our children. It's really for the love of our children. Like you said, she embodies love. That is one of the things. So I want to go through the magazine a little bit just to kind of show everyone about the love that she has just shared with so many people, that they wanted to really give her and also too, I want to let you know some of the videos are embedded in the magazine. If you go to speakersmagazine.com, you can actually see the videos that are embedded in there as well. There's a video, I think, of her and Asha that's on the cover as well, that talks a little bit about her career. Again, the magazine was really inspired too from Susan. So just so that you know, I've been reading Essence magazine forever, since I was about 10 years old, right? And the thing that was always just important to me was just that we tell our own stories. And yes, there were other magazines, there were other magazines out at the time, but Essence for me was what you could see was possible. And so Speakers Magazine features Black speakers, just like Essence would feature Black women. It was the first time for any of us probably to see Black women in magazine pages, writing and producing it on a regular. And so it became like our normal. We could see ourselves doing it. And so I just want to say a shout out to Susan for really just inspiring all the other magazines that came after Essence, and people who wanted to become editors and be in the journalism field, and really just uplifting our voices. So one of the things is that we do talk to speakers, making sure that those who have a voice, that they are actually seen, that they are positioned properly, that they are, when people say, oh, I can't find any Black speakers, well, we have a whole cadre of them. Okay. So these are some of the pictures, Renee. If you see, when I first met her, I had Black hair at that time. That was in my 20s. And then that iconic picture in the background with her hair flowing, and then the pyramids and that sort of thing. I actually found that picture. I found that picture from a 1991 Essence magazine that I had here at the house. Okay. And I took a picture of it because I really felt like that was one of the main things that represent her. Again, there's a video there as well. This person over here to the left is Sharon Morton. She was a cover of Speakers Magazine, but she, again, was a person that was inspired by Susan in her 20s. She met her at Rutgers University, and she talks about it in her thing. And she met her at Rutgers University, and Susan came to speak, and she raised her hand and had a question, was very timid, but Susan gave her such encouragement. She went on, then became a journalist in Washington, D.C., and she still has a television show, radio show on Sirius XM. So Sharon Morton, who is part of Black Door Society, again, we talk about how she has inspired us in so many ways, And so not only from her, the magazine, and from the cares and just the love and the books that she's written, we both said that Susan was the person that inspires us. And she was just, so last year, right? She's 79. She's hanging out the CBC Congressional Black Caucus, right? And she's taking pictures. And so she actually told her that, she inspired her to really pursue her career in broadcasting. That was one of the things. Then we have some other people here that really want to be in the circle of influence. They have been covers of Speakers Magazine. Dr. Joelle Martin has known Susan for 35, 40 years, I guess she said. And she wanted to say some words. And one of the things that she said, that she met her in New York. Dr. Joelle is now in Arizona, but she says that she was a gift, and basically that they worked together on a lot of advertising campaigns. And because this is Black History Month, I give a little bit of Black history, that when they started out, Dr. Joel P. Martin had an ad agency. And really, a lot of times, advertisers didn't want to put ads into Black publications. Okay. I guess they didn't think we bought soap. So, you remember that line? So basically, Susan and Joelle worked together to put a campaign together to show them the power of the economic dollar that the Black market has. And basically, Joel was putting together campaigns for Essence Magazine, getting all the ads and major advertisers targeting them to African Americans. And that was one of the things that she talked about, how they first met, and just how the years were rough, but over the years they just stayed in touch and stayed together. And I think she was, again, a part of CARES when it first started. She really was. She was part of CARES when she first started, and came together and brainstormed. And again, Dr. Joel would really talk about the advertising part of that and how to market it properly. George P. Frazier is another person that wanted to be a part of this. He was our first cover of Speakers Magazine. And he said that happy 80th birthday and cheers to you. Now, George is 82, I believe. And he says that you're just getting started. Okay. When he turned 75, he said, I'm just getting started. So George is in there. He says, just think, you've reached that fabulous age where you can leave that you're only as old as you feel debate behind, because we all know you feel like a fashion forward 40. Your legendary style, sharp intellect, and philanthropic spirit has been a beacon of hope and inspiration in our community. Thank you for being a class act who proves that age merely is just a number of fabulous years you've graced us with. Here's to a true icon. Now, that was from George. Dr. Willie Jolly, he was on the cover as well. He had some words as well. So all of you could read them. They're kind of small right now, but I wanted to put in as many as I could. And some of them wrote longer than the 50 words I told them to. Lowell Perry, which I love, it, I didn't know he knew Susan. So he saw Susan was going to be on the cover in February. He says, I know Susan really well. He used to be a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and they had a lot of conversations when Cares first started. So Lowell Perry said some words there. Marilyn Fritch Hubbard is a mentor of mine as well from Detroit. And Marilyn was a person that brought Susan to Detroit for an event, I want to say in 1989. And I was part of that group. So that's when I met Susan, that picture. I met her in 1989. And she brought her to the Renaissance Center for an association called Black Women Entrepreneurs. Susan was a keynote speaker, did fabulous, knocked it out the park. And Marilyn and Susan have kept in touch over the years. Marilyn is turning 80 this year. And so she wanted to just say to her the words and to her about, basically how she has just really blessed her life. Again, another cover, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough loves Susan, okay? Loves her, and just said some words there about, how the 20 years of Cares mentoring, because if you know anything about Dennis Kimbrough, he is always about the young people. He's a professor at Clark Atlanta of marketing. And so he speaks to young people all the time. And so he just really applauded the work that she's doing with Cares mentoring. And that is a job all by itself. It's a whole nother career. It's a whole nother career. Bishop Vashti, again, that is one of her good friends. She says one of her dear friends, and I think they're sorors as well. They both have on the red and the white. And she said to her some words that really, just how much she's meant to her family, not just to her, but to her daughter as well, Joy as well. And then Les Brown, he was the first one that came in, and he was the first one that said some words about Susan. And he says, I joyfully celebrate Susan on her 80th birthday as an author and a speaker, Essence Magazine, guiding light on your journey. And he was the first one that came in and said that. And I just really appreciate all of the people that said. And then there were just some more as well, but we couldn't put them all into the magazine. The center spread is this picture that I truly love. I think this was maybe from the gala last year. Was that from the gala last year? I think it was. Think it was from the gala last year. But again, the Cares mentoring is where her current focus and light is. Again, that picture over to the right is that iconic picture of her from when she wrote In the Spirit, a column that everybody, me and Sharon Morton would always say every single month, we will pull together our we would get the magazine in the mail and we would just immediately go to that section first. That was our little thing. And we became sisters over that because we talked about that since, didn't you? And then these are the other people that wanted to be included, and they have words as well. And they're actually going to be on the website. Ed Gordon, Arian Simone, Stephanie Mills loves her, Dr. Cindy Trim, Michelle McKinney Hammond, who's in Ghana, said, oh, definitely I want to say something. Betty Hines, Cookie Johnson, again, another magazine sister you have there as well. Sister to Sister magazine, Jamie Foster Brown. You say all the names, just like we say with you, say all three names. And then, of course, Dr. Ben Chavis, who was there at the beginning of when Started Cares, because he's a civil rights icon as well. So all of those people there were a part of the Speakers Magazine Circle of Influence. They all have been inspired by Susan. And then Nikichi Taifa, who was a cover of the magazine a couple of years ago, Black History Month. She definitely wanted to be in this magazine. Nikichi is a reparations advocate, and she's been in front of Congress and all of the things. And she's a speaker and been on PBS with Dr. Ben Chavis for his show as well. So that is it. And then we have some other people that are in the magazine that definitely wanted to be a part of. Darius Ross, he is a person that helps people with trauma. And you were saying about trauma. He was actually in trauma. He was homeless. Again, poverty is one of the things that people don't realize that's traumatizing, and it can just really shape your whole life. He was homeless and about 20 years old or so, but now he's actually building a lot of wealth creation in overseas in Africa and on the continent Jennifer Ponder wanted to be in there. She said that Susan has inspired her. She's an AI expert, and she has been a tech person from way back, and now she's really helping corporations really learn how to leverage AI in their businesses. And then Speak Sell Shine is an event that we do every year in Washington, D.C. at the Howard Theater and the Washington Press Club. And then in March, we have an event that is called She's Got Something to Say. So all of these people, and that's Dr. Stephanie Wall, have been inspired by Susan L. Taylor. When you talk about the ripple effect of her life is just, she just never knows how she's affecting people. That's all I have to say. She just never knows, because when you look at Stephanie Wall, or even like the lady that's in AI, or Darius, men and women, young and old, they see her as that person that is that icon of love, and someone who cares, and someone who is really about their business, not slowing down, just really just reframing everything, and just really making sure that people are taken care of. Cares mentoring, because that's the big thing. She does care. That's her thing. She does care. That is really, really key. So I just want to make sure that people go to Cares Mentoring if they want to become a mentor, if they want to donate, or if they want to come to the event. Those are the key things where they can actually show up and do that, because we always need people who are willing to put in their time, put in their talent, and also their treasure. But really, the time is really the most important thing. Of really, do you know how many mentors you have nationwide, or how many chapters you have nationwide?
Somehow I pressed mute, but we have over 50 affiliates across the country where we're doing recruitment of mentors. And over the years, we have served hundreds of thousands, over 300,000. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is amazing. Again, and part of the target is really helping children who are in poverty stricken, and it's a big number. People don't realize that. It is definitely something that was a hole that needed to be filled. And so when she would talk with Lowell Perry, my cousin, with other organizations, she would partner with them. What she's doing is different from the other organizations.
Yes.
And again, that's one of the things that people are doing. So in terms of where you are, the vision of where CARES has been over the 20 years, can you kind of give us a little bit of where the vision is next for the next 20 years, I guess you would say, in terms of where you're going, or what is needed more of?
Absolutely. So I would say, first and foremost, continuing this legacy, because it is so important. So the core of the work that we do, the healing work that we're doing, getting mentors out there, making sure that our young people who are the most vulnerable, the most left aside, the most, outcast, are getting what they need so that they could succeed. We are looking to do a few things. Number one, people know who Susan is. They know who Essence is. But not as many people, when you say CARES, they don't realize, right? They don't realize the work that she has been doing at the same level as they recall CARES. I mean, they call Essence, right? So one of our big responsibilities is we want to make sure that CARES is just as much of a force. And people know that this is something that she started. This is something that she's given an additional 20 years of her life to. So we want to raise the visibility of CARES. And raising the visibility of CARES would allow us to go deeper and farther into the communities that we serve, so we can serve more people. We need more volunteers who are doing mentoring. We need more donors and philanthropists who will help support this work, because it's kind of in a place where, with all that's going on in our world, funding is something that is needed to do this work, and nobody's coming to save us, right? And so we have to be the folks that our young people can rely on to make sure that they have what they need. We have to. This work is culturally anchored and affirming. I mean, think about who she is. It's anchored and affirming. It's healing. It's life-changing. It's trajectory changing, and it must continue. And so our goal is to take her legacy, can move it on, keep moving forward, go farther, go wider, expand the work, using all the best practices to take the core and the love of this work to new heights. We want more affiliates. We want to be able to change the lives of more children. There are young people in communities that need this work. They need this affirmation. They need healing. They need people to know that they matter, that they have a voice, that we care about them, and that we need to reach them to give them the tools, because we need them for the future. We need them now, and one of the biggest things that we are going after as well, I know all of them are big because they all are big, right?
Mm-hmm.
There has been this just unbelievable trend in child suicide.
Well, it really has, especially with young African American men.
Absolutely. Specifically, Black child suicide increased 144%. 144%. So we've got to get in front of that. We've got to do something about that. Some of our young people are suffering, and we need to be able to get there so we can give them that affirming and loving care, the mentorship, and help change the trajectory of their lives. Like some of these stories, if you take a look at our website, some of these stories are just absolutely phenomenal. We have young people who aspired to be drug dealers because that's all they saw as a way out, and now have come into contact with CARES, have done the work, have been part of our mentoring our wellness mentoring circles, have been part of our rising programs, have been able to feel the love and the care of our mentors, and are now engineers and attorneys and just all kinds of things. And so that's the work that needs to be done. So we need more people who want to.
Yeah, because when you think about it, it's 20 years old. So someone who came into CARES at 10, they're 30 now. They're out of college and they're engineers. And this is the thing that I love that, because if it wasn't for programs like CARES, they wouldn't be where they were, pulling them out of the trauma, or, just being their support, just knowing that someone cares and that someone sees them and believes in them. That is so important.
They're heard, they're valued, all of that.
Oh my God. I love that. Matter. So CARES Mentoring, go there. It's scrolling across the bottom there at caresmentoring.org. It's and if you feel led to
be led
to really, come to the event, give to the event, become a mentor, support the local affiliate in your area. Look it up. Look and see what is the local affiliate in your area. It may be CARES Mentoring in Detroit, or it could be another CARES that you want to join a part of. And that's one of the things I know. Vivian Picard, she's on the CARES Mentoring Board. She's going to be at the event, and she has always been philanthropic and really wanted to give back as well. So those are the things that you want to be around, those type of people. You want to be around those type of people that care, people who are making a difference in the world. And that's so important. I am so honored to have her on the cover of the Black History Month issue, really talking about her legacy, her love. She's just legendary, just really legendary, and just really just showing us what it is to age healthy, beautiful, inside and out. One of the things I remember I heard her speak, I think one time at an event I went to for Ford Motor Company. I think it was Ford Minority Dealers or something like that. And I remember she says, I travel a lot, I speak a lot, but one thing I will not, she says, no matter what it is, I'm going to always exercise. And at that time, I think I was maybe just a little over 30. She says, if I don't go to the gym in the hotel where I am, she says, because it's easy to not go down there. She says, but I'll bring a jump rope. I'll pack a jump rope and I'll jump rope in my room. I was like, you know what? I need to get my life together.
No excuse, right?
She pulls out a jump rope. At this time, she had to be about 50.
Right.
She pulls out a jump rope. And that's why she looks like she does. She says, I am always going to make sure that I am moving. She says, I will pack a jump rope in my suitcase and jump rope in my room.
Yeah.
And I was like, so now seeing her at 80, I was like, those weren't just words. She knew about how to eat right, how to live right, how to love right, how to exercise. I mean, all those things. Because at the end, toward the last quarter of your life, you want to be in good shape.
Right.
That stuck with me. I did buy jump rope after that. I don't know if I jump all the time when I go on trips out of town. But but I do remember that. And it was like, ooh, she said some things to me. So Renee Daniel Flagler, thank you so much. I'm going to have you back on another show, talk about some other things that you do, because again, we have these full diverse lives. And I just want to make sure that we talk about that as well. But thank you so much. And I will see you soon. I will see you on March 2nd at the Ziegler Ballroom.
Ziegler Ballroom.
Yes, yes, that is it. I'm going to say Ziegler.
At 5:30, starting at
5:30.
Yes.
Okay, so it is an after 5 event. So yeah, that will be. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that I didn't ask? Because there's so much, and I know this went really, really quick. Tell Susan
I will
we said
just
hello.
say, this is not going to be just a celebration, a regular celebration. It is a culmination and celebration. We are celebrating Susan's 80th birthday. We are celebrating her 55-year legacy of building community and love. We are celebrating 20 years of the National Cares Mentoring Movement, but we're also celebrating the women who made us. Susan didn't want the focus to just be on her, but of all the women who have helped us to become who we are, all the women who have impacted our lives in some way, shape, or form, but by the way that they live, right? What you just talked about with her, by the words that they've given us and encouraged us, by pouring into us. So it's the women that you can think about who have made a life-changing impact to the world, but it's also the aunties and the mothers and the cousins and the church mothers and the women who have said and done and loved. It's a chance to celebrate all of them.
I love that. Oh my
God. So you want to be in the room. The feeling as we get closer and closer, you want to be in the room.
Yes, yes, that is for sure. So make sure you go. It's scrolling across the bottom, caresmentoring.org, and we will see you there. Thank you, Renee, National President of National Cares Mentoring Movement. It's a movement, not just a moment. All right. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.